Hey hoes, welcome back to the channel, where today I'm going to be bringing you guys my review of Godzilla, King of the Monsters. I'll be honest with you, if there are three things in life that can really get me going, it's BOGOs, buffet, and big monsters. And that's exactly what you get in this new Godzilla film. The way that this video is going to work is that at first there will be no spoilers whatsoever, and I will make sure to give you a very clear warning of when those spoilers are going to begin. With that being said, let's jump right into it and talk about what really makes up this film. Godzilla King of the Monsters really does have everything that you need for a good action film. For example, a brave white man, a popular child, a conflicted white woman, a wise, older Asian man, and an evil British dude. Yeah, but enough about that. Let's talk about some monsters like we really want to. First up, we've got Godzilla. Godzilla destroyed San Francisco in the last movie, which may be the greatest thing Godzilla's ever done. As you can tell, and if you've seen the last movie, you know he has an extreme atomic blast that he likes to shoot out, which is extremely cool. And Godzilla seems to be on the side of protecting humanity, at least for now. And in the blue corner, we have one of the rivals for the claim of being the apex predator of the kaiju world, King Ghidorah. As you can tell, Ghidorah is a three-headed dragon, and that's already very intimidating. We don't know much about Ghidorah going into this, but we do know that he controls lightning, and if that seems overpowered, that's because it is. Next up in this kaiju lineup, we have Mothra. As Mothra's name may imply, she is a very, very big bug. She is a staple of the Godzilla franchise who has been killed, reborn, and crystallized to become a moth multiple times. But as you can see here, the little girl is pretty cute. Oh, Jesus. Last up, we have a new addition to the kaiju world in Rodan. Rodan we don't know much about as he is brand new to this franchise, coming here for the first time in King of the Monsters. He's going to serve as a secondary antagonist, and hopefully he's going to have a very successful debut. Much less fun aspect of the movie is the acting. While it is strong and it follows a lot of the same characters so that you can really have that connection from the previous ones, I found a lot of the performances to be half-hearted, almost lazy. I know for the most part of our main characters, they've been doing this and they take the project very seriously, so that they're the ones that really stood out and shined. But I found a lot of the ones that are new or haven't played that big of roles to be pretty weak. The movie does play off of three real questions that are just sort of left hanging and up for viewer interpretation, such as the sanctity of life of these creatures, human impact on the world, and if they are the ones that are bringing these creatures out, and sort of what should humans' role in relation to these creatures be, and who should really be the ones that are the alpha in the world. Jesus Christ dies in the Bible. Consider this your spoiler warning. That Monarch is actually found Mothra, but just the egg, like pre-hatched one. Mothra ends up hatching, and they introduce this new device that they have called the Orca, so that it's able to use bioacoustics, or like brainwaves, to calm and subdue and make them angry. Pretty much it controls all of the kaiju that you see throughout the film, and we'll talk a little bit later about how, but that becomes the big mystery, because as they use it on Mothra and prove that it does work, big explosion in the back, bad dudes come in, shoot someone in the head, whoa, it's scary, and then they take them away, and you're like, oh no, what a terrible start. At this point, the film really does slow down and pump the brakes. We get a lot of plot development, where they're going to the husband in order to try and make sure that they can recreate the Orca, so that, well, it doesn't exactly say what yet. I assume so that they can counteract the fact that the bad guys have it now, so that they'll be able to also control the kaiju, but while they're controlling the kaiju, so that hopefully they'll be able to counter each other out. But we do find out that the bad guys have gone to Antarctica, where there is a Monarch base, and there we get to see our first bad kaiju, who is King Ghidorah. Here in Antarctica is where we do get some of our more typical plot, where it's, oh, the bad guy is going to wake up the big monster, and no one's exactly sure why, because the only information that we have about him so far is that he's an environmental terrorist, which I'm not exactly sure what that means, but they say he wants to return the world to the natural order of things, so either I'm stupid or that will just be explained later. Or both. So, of course, the good guys come in to make the save. We have the husband running down bravely into this huge firefight and ambush that's been sprung, and he sees his wife and his daughter, and he's like, come to me, yes, come. But then the wife betrays it all and actually sets off explosives, which release Ghidorah into the world. We get our first bit of kaiju on kaiju action as Godzilla shows up to fight King Ghidorah, and it's actually pretty enjoyable. Very accurate, I almost want to say, because of watching so many of the old Godzilla films, where this felt similar, though much better special and practical. Our heroes are able to escape and end up, while on their plane, getting a video call from the actual betrayer, Judas' wife. She explains that the reason she wants to do this is because these kaiju, or titans as they're referred throughout the entire movie because they won't call them kaiju, are the rightful owners of the world, and that they will restore balance because they're needed to, because they're Earth's defense. But Earth's defense from what? Of course, it's people. So because of overpopulation, pollution, and fracking, and nukes, pretty much, the kaiju have come back in order to set everything right. So she's going to release them so that they'll destroy parts of the world so that then they can live in the world without going extinct from their own causes, even though now there will be titans everywhere who want to kill them and probably make them go extinct. Releases Rodon, who is a fiery pterodactyl, pretty much, comes out of a volcano and begins attacking, where he is then led to Ghidorah, who is now in a tropical storm because Ghidorah controls storms, which they casually explain like it's no big deal. And Ghidorah proves dominance over Rodon, who then pretty much becomes a lackey of Ghidorah, making him an alpha. And then, after this big moment where it's like, oh no, Ghidorah is so unstoppable, she's gonna get our heroes, Godzilla comes swooping in from the water, because he can't fly yet. And then once he comes and swoops in, he fights them down, and the military calls and says that they have been working on an oxygen destroyer which will kill every single piece of life within 2 miles, which is terrifying. The oxygen destroyer does go off, and it kills Godzilla, but not Ghidorah, who just kind of flies back to Brazil, and he's behind a cross, he does his big thing, and then he ends up doing a call that wakes up every single kaiju in the world, which is at least 17 that they know of, not counting Godzilla. And now everything seems to be going wrong because they're all destroying the world. And then they dive underwater in a submarine and find out that the Earth is hollow, and Godzilla's inside of the hollow Earth in a temple that's underground to him, where there's just a constant stream of nuclear radiation that makes him stronger. But the nuclear radiation isn't strong enough, so they set off an atomic bomb a couple feet from his face, which was odd. Now that Godzilla has been effectively nuked, he is super, and he's super strong, and he's ready, and he's jacked, because he's been hitting the gym while he's been in recovery, doing a lot of squats, because he looks like a thick boy, and he ends up going off, and he comes up, and on the submarine they make eye contact and I think become friends. And then it seems like we're going to have one of those iconic, let them fight. But actually, instead, they're like, we're going to join the fight this time. We're going to take the fight to Ghidorah, which they tried shooting him first time, it didn't really work, and they dropped a mega nuke on him and he kind of just brushed it off. So I don't know what they're going to really do, but if they say so. Really begins to come to a head, because Ghidorah, Godzilla, and the army, and Monarch, and the daughter are now all heading to Fenway Park, where the orca is used to put out a sound that will attract every single kaiju, especially Ghidorah and Godzilla, who hear it as being an alpha male because it is a mix of Godzilla and humans bioacoustics, so that it's the ultimate alpha male, I suppose. And Ghidorah is pissed. A lot of lasers and lightning, and then Mothra shows up, who came earlier in the movie to reveal where Godzilla was, but didn't really do much other than float in the air. And they were just like, ah, she's the queen of monsters. But now she is back, and she proves to be quite the badass, as Rodan shows up and attacks her, but she ends up stabbing him pretty much through the neck, and he's like, oh, okay. Unfortunately, Mothra's adventures do not end there, as she then goes on to face off with Ghidorah and get blasted by lightning right in the face, to the point of exploding and releasing energy all over Godzilla, who is currently lying defeated. But Godzilla has so much nuclear energy in him now that he's turned into a atomic bomb, essentially, who's ticking away. So he gets up with the support of Ghidorah's soul, and now the also massive amount of atomic energy, and he ends up destroying Ghidorah, like complete domination. The good guys, as they're flying away, are like, huh, I'm glad he's on our side. Credits are all shot over headlines from newspapers and the news about how this fallout is happening and they're living among monsters now. And then they start to kind of move into a different direction about what is a god to a king, and you start hearing all these references to Kong, and there's pictures of cave drawings of them indicating what's coming next. In case you didn't know, is Godzilla vs. King Kong, which I personally am very excited for. And that's about where we're left off at. Up until now, we're just kind of waiting until King Kong shows up and throws rocks at Godzilla, maybe? I don't really know how King Kong can stand a chance, but guess we'll find out soon. Overall, I think I would rate this movie as about 3 wise Asian men out of 4. That's going to be it for this video, guys. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And until next time, bye.